Jay Ryan of Security Compass. It's great to see you. Thanks for your time today. What are you seeing agencies running up against, obstacles they're encountering as far as establishing and maturing DevSecOps environments? And how are you seeing them deal with them, Jay? Welcome.
Well, thanks for having me, Francis. The big thing is DevSecOps has really embraced the challenge of the obstacle, right? Moving everything from the old school waterfall approach to agile and where we are today, where we're integrating this team. So you're seeing them coalesce around securing the people, process, and the technology, which is awesome. They're building on secure platforms and pipelines that are really allowing for inheritance models, if you've heard that term, or increasing the speed of development and lessen the time it takes to achieve authority to operate through these processes. And all this really, the hurdle in the past has been the ability to get useful software to the field. And this is really resulting in the delivery of applications to the field that are really secure by design from the start, which is awesome.
Define that term, inheritance models.
Sure. So, building on a platform, on the underlying architecture, your cloud model, your security model, your backend databases, everything that really supports what you need from a pipeline standpoint to operate. Those are all being offered secure from the start. So it's an 80% solution for those folks as they get out the gate on those pipelines.
Are agencies starting to get more, I guess better informed isn't the right term, but I think you know where I'm going, as far as determining that buy versus build, what platforms are available that they can start with and try to gain some momentum early on in the process?
Yes. I mean, the problem is there's so much that's out there. You can build an environment based on widely accepted best of class solutions. And the argument is, can you do that? Or you have to be, choosing just the best of breed offerings, that kind of niche you into a very tailored or focused use case. And the reality is the two aren't mutually exclusive. The approach of standardization is great, for the baseline of building secure by design, but it doesn't need to exclude solutions at the expense of delivering great applications, which is what we're really saying.
What are you seeing agencies doing to bring the right people into the mix, either through partnerships with companies like yours or through bringing people in as their own personnel? You alluded to that people process technology piece, and I wonder what you're seeing the people piece in particular looking like now.
Yeah, well, I mean, the great thing is, we're a couple years on into this DevSecOps journey towards really kind of formalized. So we're seeing a lot of collaboration. The DoD specifically, where we spend a lot of time, we're seeing wide collaboration being fostered. Through software factory leadership, they're doing a lot of gatherings, pulling each other together, lessons learned, sharing, and we're seeing the larger establishment of the DevSecOps community practice. And then outside this, there's a whole ecosystem popping up of all of those vendors who've been supporting this effort for going on 3+ years now, and that's turned into a large knowledge base. That's turned into a lot of folks who know each other, who are sharing, the bright minds and people who can go solve these problems. And you're seeing those players move, kind of laterally between government and academia and industry. And that's resulted in, I think, a lot of great, strong skill sets being in the right place.
You mentioned the software factories in DoD, and I wonder what the civilian agencies can learn from those software factories. I know there are some on the civilian side too, but are there kind of best practices or lessons that the civilian agencies can learn from what the military software factories are doing?
Yeah, 100%. We are seeing these civilian agencies adopt the software factory models and approach. That's kind of seen wider adoption in this last year to 18 months. I'm having great conversations with folks at a number of agencies who are looking to replicate those same things and, adopting DevSecOps models and pipelines. So we're seeing that kind of matriculate itself out across the larger federal government as a whole.
I like that term that the civilian folks are looking to adopt those practices, because for a long time when one agency would do something and another agency would seek to replicate it wouldn't be the right word. Well, we're different and we have this or that, whatever. And so we can't just kind of lift and shift, as the cloud term goes. Is that something that works in the DevSecOps environment, or is each organization different and requires a different setup and different platform and so on and so on?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to the earlier conversation around the solutions. It's entirely flexible. The approach is inherently made to be flexible. If you're agile, you can adopt to what you need to support your agency model. And with the expansion of the community, there are enough solutions out there to allow you to do that. You're not locked in, and you've got lots of options to really make your mission requirement.
What are you seeing organizations do to make sure they stay flexible and adaptable throughout the life cycle, not just at the beginning when they're building the infrastructure or building the tools.
Yeah, so I think what you're really seeing that's seen a lot of success is the teams are getting autonomy, right? So they're being allowed to go and solve problems on their own in an agile process, the modern adoption of, agile DevOps. The coders who are out there doing it, they're being handed the tool sets they need and they're being said, allowed to go solve the problem. And at the end of the day, you're seeing a lot of new assessors who are the ones that are responsible for carrying the weights of approving those applications for use, being more open to this process, educating on this process, and really learning about the flexibility that's inherent inside the NIST risk management framework to allow for these things to hit the field faster.
How do you advise the government partners that you work with to judge their success, to determine whether they're achieving what they need to achieve within the timeframes they want to achieve it, and so on?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's always going to be a challenging question. We do an interview every year where we survey the Fed community and see what everyone's doing. And the big response is we're seeing a lot of folks really adopt the DORA metrics, which really give a great baseline for measuring success. We also see a lot of great measurement against ROI on the time it takes to deploy and the bang for the buck they're actually seeing on the back end for those applications being built.
Jay, it's great to talk to you. I appreciate your time today. Thanks very much.
Thank you.